This next exercise here is for your back and hip muscles. It's going to work on your stabilization as well. All you're going to do is come on here, you're going to keep your knees bent, your hands down. You're on all fours here. The ball is right underneath your navel or your belly button. And what we're going to do here is we're going to reach one arm straight ahead, and then we're going to lift one leg. And we're going to pause, and then we're going to bring back down here, and then we're going to switch. The next exercise that we're going to do is a version of the push-up. We're going to place the ball by getting onto our knees right underneath of our navel again. We're going to crawl out just so our hips are on top of the ball. And what we're going to do is do a push-up from here. We want to lead with our chest and our nose. Keep our shoulders up and back. Lower the whole way down. Come back up. Next exercise we're going to do is for your abdominal muscles and your low back muscles. It's called an anterior pelvic tilt and a posterior pelvic tilt. The first motion we're going to start off with is an anterior pelvic tilt, where we're going to put space in between our back and the ground. If Nick could lower the camera down, you'll be able to see that I have space underneath of my back, in between the mat and my low back. And then the next motion I'm going to do is a posterior pelvic tilt. While right now I'm anterior, I'm here, my pelvis is rotated anteriorly. Now I'm going to rotate it in the opposite direction and pull my pelvis back. If you keep your fingers on your hip bones here, you can feel your pelvis lift up anteriorly and then drop back posteriorly. Meanwhile, the whole time I'm trying to keep my belly button tight to my spine, which should actually be the first movement that we do. I just kind of do it second nature now. You're going to pull it down to your back, hold it nice and tight, lift up, draw back. The next exercise we're going to do is called a bridge. What we want to do here, again, is tighten our abs, keep our belly button drawn towards our back. We're going to have our feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to press our heels down into the floor, placing our hands down. We're going to lift up as high as we can, and we're going to form a bridge. That's why this is called a bridge. You can see my hips are up as high as I can get them. I'm trying to really squeeze my glutes here, and then I'm going to slow and controlled lower back down to the ground. Bring my belly button in again, and I'm going to lift back up. The next exercise is an exercise that everybody's done in gym class. It's been common, it's been around for years. It's called the abdominal crunch. The difference is here, we want to make sure that we're keeping our pelvis in alignment and that we're drawing our belly button in towards our backs. We're going to come here and we're just going to lift up enough. We're going in this motion, not this motion. We're going to lift up enough just so our shoulder blades are able to come off of the ground. So I tilt, I keep my belly button nice and tight, and I'm up. And I'm up. The next exercise we're going to do is a double leg lowering. For this exercise, though, we're going to keep it nice and simple. We're going to keep our knees bent. We're going to tilt our pelvis backwards, keep our abdominal muscles tight towards our spine. And all we're going to do here, without arching our back, is lift our feet up, and then we're going to push back down. Continue only with the pelvic tilts if you cannot maintain the pelvic tilt position throughout this. If I lift my legs up and my lower back arches up, and you see that my lower back is arched here, that is an incorrect movement, and you're going to put stress on your spine. We don't want to do that. You've got to practice getting this pelvic tilt position first. So we're going to tilt back, bring our knees up, keep the tilt, slowly lower back. The exercise I'm going to do here is called a rose wall slide. I'm going to lay flat against the wall. You can do this any wall in your house. My heels are against the wall, my butt is against the wall, my bottom butt cheek is against the wall, my shoulders are flat against the wall. Right now I have ankle weights on, but I suggest that you try to do this before, for practice, prior to putting ankle weights on for this. This is actually a pretty difficult exercise, and it causes a lot of burning in your hip, and you'll feel it almost immediately after 2 or 3 reps. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep my heel flat against the wall here. My foot's going to come up straight. I'm going to lift, and I'm going to come back down. This next exercise is a prone straight leg raise, or a single leg hip extension. The key here is I'm going to make sure I'm firing my glute muscles first. So I'm going to tighten my glute muscle before I lift my leg. I'm going to keep my knees straight, and I'm just going to lift straight up, and I'm going to come back down. I'm going to squeeze my glute muscle here again, and I'm going to come up and then back down. Also, I don't want to be up in this position here because I can't lift my leg as high and it's going to put a lot of stress to my low back. So I'm going to be down here. I'm going to keep my head down, keep my chest down, squeeze my glute, lift straight up, and then back down. The next exercise I'm going to do is for my hamstrings. All I'm going to do is bring my heel here with the ankle weight straight up and then straight down. Straight up and then straight down. You probably won't feel this as much unless you do use the ankle weights, unlike the Rose wall slide. So continue to use the ankle weights, bring this heel up towards your butt and back down. If you want to get a little bit more tension and a little bit more stress to your muscle, you can go a little bit more quickly. The next exercise that I'm going to do here is for our hips, a little bit for our balance, but primarily for our hips. We're going to hold on to something here. We're going to do what's called a three-way hip exercise. We're going to reach straight forward, out to the side, and straight back. All the while, I'm keeping my glute muscles nice and tight, lifting up. The next exercise that I'm going to do is a squat. I have the ball up against my back, against the wall here. It's right in the small of my back and my lumbar spine here. My heels are out in front of me. Okay. All I'm going to do is lower my butt down, and so my femurs are in line and parallel with the floor, and I'm going to come back up. If my feet are too close to me here, my knees are going to go over my toes, and that's not what I want. We want to be working on our hips and our leg muscles here. Also not to put pressure on our knees. If we squat down like that, it's going to put a little bit more pressure on our knees. So all we're going to do is come back, drop the hips down. You want to make this a little bit more difficult, which I would recommend, is to hold your dumbbells, your hand weight dumbbells at your sides, like you're holding two suitcases, and you're going to do the same motion. It just gives you a little bit more resistance. The next exercise is a forward step up. I'm going to use the hand weights here to give me a little bit of extra resistance. All I'm going to do is place my heel with my foot here, make sure my heel is down on this box, and I'm going to step up, trying not to push off the back leg. I'm going to shift my weight forward and push up, and step back down. Push up, step back down. It's okay to place your foot up here, but we want to make sure when we come back that we're controlled. If you look at my knee stays in line with my toe. I'm not allowing my knee to collapse into the inside. Coming back up, coming straight down. Now we're going to start with another version of the step up. We're going to place our foot, same thing, pressure is on the heel. We're going to laterally shift towards our leg that's on the box, and we're going to press up, and then back down. Up, back down. If you watch my hip on this side, it goes backwards. That's the idea with this. I don't want to allow my knee to come over to my toe in this position here. So I'm stepping, I'm shifting my hips, and I'm pressing all my weight through my heel and my glute on my right side. Pushing up, and then coming back down. The next exercise that I'm going to do, and this is more of a cardiovascular exercise here, I'm going to continue to hold my hand weights here, but all I'm going to do is step up and down, on and off of the box, on and off in the box. And as I get better at this, I'm going to use my arms and move my arms at the same time. We can also use wrist and ankle weights for this, if that's what we need to do. I'm going to do this for 1 minute. And then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to switch at 1 minute, and I'm going to lead with my left. We want to stay balanced. For the box stepping exercise, as I said, we're going to do a minute on the right foot leading, and then on the minute on the left foot leading. We're going to alternate, and we're going to do that for 3 minutes on each side for a total of 6. For the lateral box stepping, as I said before, we're going to do 1 minute, and then we're going to take a 15-second break, and we're going to do 6 sets of that, following the forward box stepping, alternating right foot and left foot.